Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining us in the studio today is Shirley Ray. She's the director of the Dubois County Museum. And Shirley, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The museum is always open, but things are a little slow now with COVID-19.
They are.
So what happens during COVID-19 and what are you planning for in the future?
Well, we're doing a lot of research right now. We're also planning events. We're working on our Christmas plans especially and our exhibit plans because we are open to visitation. So even though we're not doing a lot of our special events and programs, we're still creating special opportunities where people can come in and see things that they couldn't previously see or do research, things like that.
Okay, because we're, some point we're going to come out of this.
Yes.
And people will be able to get their lives back to,
Indeed.
or moving forward to normal. So this is also a time for people to plan. If you're wanting to have a party, or if you're wanting to rent a large space, the museum,
or a meeting. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, we have a couple of spaces that are available for small gatherings and that sort of thing. We have a really nice meeting room, and we upgraded the technology recently with some new exhibits and some partnerships and things, so it has sort of a audiovisual component that can be accessed. We use it for our board meetings because we're still Zooming partially our board meetings and things like that. So you can fit up to like 50 people in that space, and we've had it scheduled for workshops and things like that in previous years, so that space is available. And then we have our main area, which is currently under construction, but it will be available November onward, and next year certainly.
Yeah, next year. So
for larger groups, like up to 100 people.
Start
that kind
planning
of thing.
now for next year. So we need to be doing.
Yes, today's a good day to start planning for next year.
You mentioned construction.
Yes.
So there is a new roof going on at the museum. What did it take to get to this point?
Quite a bit. Again, before my time, but I'm going to summarize it for you. We've had this issue with roof fissures in the roof. The roof hadn't been replaced for a number of years. We sort of were given the building and we were happy to have it, and funding has been ongoing with the building maintenance. The roof became critical, as I understand it, a couple years ago, and we've been dealing with, some issues here and there. So fundraising was started primarily with our membership and then some outreach to specific other individuals in order to raise the money to replace the roof, because it is a large project. And we're happy to say that it started essentially today-ish. Okay. And so we're finally getting that new roof that's going to protect a large percentage of our exhibits and other spaces.
Does this new roof mean the museum will be closed, or is the museum open for business? Maybe just not all the space.
Open for business,
okay.
But one of our main galleries is closed. So the agriculture gallery, the wildlife room, and the train exhibit are all closed for 6 to 8 weeks. That's the window that we have. But the other spaces, room 1 and 3, the village is open, the German immigration is open, the Athena exhibit, that's the newest piece, that's all still available.
So the museum is open for business. Come on in. Okay.
I'd say a quarter of it is not available.
I would imagine if somebody wants to make a donation, they certainly can, because this roof is not the only thing you're going to need work with.
Absolutely.
What do they do?
We have two kind of fundraising avenues in that arena. We have a buildings and grounds fund, a building fund that people can donate to. That is if they want to designate it towards the building. Otherwise, we accept donations for general operating expenses. We do have special categories also for the trains or for certain exhibits like the wildlife room. Anytime, we obviously accept donations, and those can be submitted through the website. They can be dropped off at the museum. You can call us. We will accept always of donations.
And is there an organization that helps with the museum? Is it like something that somebody can join if they want
yes, we do have memberships.
There we go. That's
Indeed.
it. That's
yes,
the word
we have a membership program, and that's ongoing. So it's an annual membership, and they start at like $25 and they go up into $5,000, I think is the highest level that we have. And those can be joined at any time, and then you become part of our group of supporters, and you get all the benefits of that, the newsletters, the e-newsletters. Eventually you'll get discounts. Right now you get a discount in the store, 10% off if you're a member in the store. And going forward, you'll get discounts on tickets and things as well. So membership is an ongoing annual contribution, and then beyond that, we have other opportunities to accept donations.
Okay, so be a member of the Dubois County Museum.
That's the first step.
The Dubois County Museum Society?
It's
Dubois
just
County?
Dubois County Museum, Inc.
Inc. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's what, so I ask about that.
We're an Inc.
Yeah, you're an, okay, now, you are open on one night a week.
Yes.
That is a special time. I think the next one's September 30th, and then in October, once a month.
It's generally the
What is
last week of the month. It's a free night. They're called Nifty Nights.
Okay.
And it's usually a special theme or a special opportunity. And around that theme, we're open from 5:30 till 8 p.m. and you can come in completely free. Members are always free, but if you're not a member and you can't make it between 10 and 2 most days when we're open, this is your once a month opportunity to come and see what's new or to interact with other humans when you can.
Sure. Yeah,
at the
this
museum.
might be one way to do it. Okay, so that
Yes.
this next one we think is September 30th, and
Yes.
in October they'll have one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing I always ask you is when you do show, tell me
Yeah.
about an exhibit you think people need to be aware of and go and see, or that may be a hidden gem or maybe something special.
Okay, so we have a new sort of space we've designated for temporary exhibits. So they're only going to be up for like a month to 6 weeks at a time. And we're currently putting up the election exhibit. So it's about voting, voting rights, women's suffrage. And we actually were able to pull a voting machine out of storage, which I don't know if it's ever been on exhibit. So it's really neat with levers and pulleys
Sure, I
and a
remember that.
curtain. And
Yeah.
I don't know the date on it because the exhibit is being created now, so it's not completely ready yet, but it's really nifty. I mean, you walk by and you're like, whoa, that's cool.
Right. Well, because
So-
now, we do it on an electronic
Right.
keypad sort of a thing, but I can remember the days of the levers and the curtains.
It's
and that was
pretty
pretty
neat.
cool. I always enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, I've never seen one. So
Well,
for me, it's
That's
like,
because
whoa.
you're too young and I'm
Oh,
too
thank
old.
you.
That's the,
See, you
Okay.
took the bait there.
yeah. So this is an election exhibit. It is
Yes.
not political. It
Not
is
at
just
all.
simply to give people an idea.
There's
of,
some neat propaganda from past elections, the past, 100 some years, buttons and things like that. But no, it's completely nonpartisan.
Yeah, now, so you've got this election section, so you've got some memorabilia. How do you get that stuff? Where does that come from?
A lot of it's on loan. We have a group of volunteers that are sort of our regular contributors oftentimes, and then occasionally we'll put a solicitation in the newspaper or in the newsletter saying we're doing this exhibit if you have items you want to give or sometimes loan.
Okay.
So the button collection's coming from one of our regular volunteers, and then in our collection we had a few things.
Now, it always fascinated me. You have a certain number of things that are on display, but you have
Yes.
a huge number
Indeed,
that
we
are
do.
archived.
Yes.
Okay.
We have, typically museums on average only really display about 10% of their collection. The rest of it is in storage. We display a bit more of our collection than that, but overall, yeah, there are thousands and thousands of objects that are in storage, and every one of them doesn't necessarily get seen. So these special exhibits, these satellite exhibits we're doing, the traveling displays we're doing, all that gives us the opportunity to pull those objects that you wouldn't normally be able to access.
That makes it neat because, a museum, you think, okay, it's going to be old and stale and it's the same thing all the time. But it's not because you're able to change things out.
Yeah, we do a lot of changing. We have a whole crew that meets every week and just tweaks things, moves things around, puts in new displays. Multiple times a year, there's a brand new display to see.
So just because you've been there maybe 6 months ago,
Right.
at the beginning of COVID, doesn't mean you shouldn't go again to see what's going on.
Exactly. And as we've been filming these videos, just as a side note, Kathy and I have been filming these videos, and we keep discovering new exhibits that we never knew existed. And she's been there for quite a while and has, generally seen it all, but not really. Every day I see something new. So there's definitely things to see.
So the museum is open, though. We want people
Yes,
to know you
we
do
are
have
open.
construction going on because
We
you're
do.
putting a new roof in, which is
Yeah.
great. But you are open for
We
business.
are.
Come on
we
in.
are. Yep, we
All
are.
right. Anything else, Shirley, you'd like to add?
I think that's all.
All right. Go to the Dubois County Museum. Spend a night at the museum when you go on the 30th of September
Yes,
for the
Nifty Nights.
Nifty Nights, and then every month they have a Nifty Night. Shirley, thank you for being our
Thank
guest.
you.
Thank you for joining us here for 18 WJTS in Form. We hope to see you again. We are local people watching local people.